Hello everyone, myself Soumya. Here I am going to give a presentation on descriptive analysis. Let's see the introduction part. The analysis of data is most skilled task in the business research process, which require researcher own judgment and skill. The steps in business research process involves analysis of data. It is a most skilled task because the business researcher has to possess his own judgment and skills. The different statistical techniques were available to enrich the researcher decisions. There are different statistical techniques which improves the researcher decision making ability. Descriptive statistics, which summarizes the large mass of data into understandable, meaningful form. So, this descriptive statistics, which summarizes the entire data into understandable, meaningful form. Research consists of systematic observation and description of characteristics or properties of object or events for the purpose of discovering the relationship between the variables. So, descriptive analysis helps to find out the characteristics, properties and objects of the events and purpose of discovering the why we are going to discover the relationship between the variables. Meaning of descriptive analysis. Analysis means categorizing, classifying and summarizing the data to obtain answer to the research question. The word analysis means categorizing, classifying and summarizing the data to obtain the answer to the research question. Descriptive analysis is the term given to analyze the data that helps to describe, show or summarize data in a meaningful way. So, descriptive analysis is the term given to analysis of data that helps to describe, show or summarize the data in a meaningful way. It helps to describe the data in a meaningful way. This descriptive analysis does not allow us to make conclusion beyond the data we have analyzed or reach conclusion regarding the hypothesis we might have made. So, this descriptive analysis does not allow us to make conclusion beyond the data which we have analyzed. It is simply a way to describe the data. Descriptive analysis is a simple way to describe the data. It is used to analyze and represent the data that have been previously collected. Descriptive analysis is the process which is useful to represent the data which have been already collected. It includes frequency counts, range means the high and low score of values, the difference between high and low score of values, means, modes, medians and standard deviation. So, descriptive analysis use these various statistical techniques. Then procedures of descriptive analysis. Once the data are grouped, different statistical measures are used to analyze the data and draw conclusion. Once the data is grouped, different statistical measures are used to analyze the data and draw the conclusion. For present study, the following statistical measures of descriptive analysis were used to compute the further statistical testing. First one is measure of central tendency and second one is measure of variability. In that first one, measure of central tendency. The central tendency of a distribution is an estimate of the center of the distribution of value. Central tendency is used to estimate a center of a given value. It describes the center position of distribution for the given data set. A central tendency helps to know the center position of any distribution for given data. It is most informative description of characteristics of any population. The measure of central tendency is the most informative description characteristics of any population. There are three major types of central tendency. In that first one is mean. The mean or average is probably the most commonly used method of describing central tendency. In central tendency, mean is the most popular method. It is also known as arithmetic average. A mean means it is also known as arithmetic average. Mean is the average of all the values of given in a distribution. Mean is a average calculated of given values of distribution. To compute mean, all values are added and divided by total number of values. The procedure for computation of mean is we have to add the all given data and we have to divide the total by given number of values. It is the ratio of summation of all scores to the total number of scores. Mean is the ratio summation of all scores to the total number of scores. Using mean, we can compare the different groups. Mean can be calculated by the formula. Formula is x bar is equal to sigma x divided by n, where x bar is equal to sample mean, sigma x is sum of the scores in a distribution, n is number of items. Here the given data are added and divided by number of observation. So we can get the mean. Next one is median. And the next type in central tendency is median. Median is the positional average that divides the distribution into two equal parts. Median means middle, which divides the given distribution into two equal parts, so that one half items falls above it and another falls below it. In other words, the midpoint of a distribution of values is called the median. The midpoint of the given distribution of values is known as median. The next type of central tendency is mode. The mode is the most frequently occurring value in the set of data. Mode means most repetitive value in the given data set. The mode is indirectly calculated mean or median. It is a quick appropriate measure of central tendency. Mode is a quick appropriate measure of central tendency. Let us see one example. Age of 5 randomly selected students applying for 4th year league colleges are 23 years, 26 years, 26 years, 29 years, 31 years. Here we have 5 randomly selected students data. From this we have to calculate mean, median and mode. Mean is calculated by using the formula x bar is equal to sigma x divided by n. Sigma x is total of given values, that is 23 plus 26 plus 26 plus 29 plus 31 divided by number of observation. Here we have the data of 5 students, so divided by 5. So if we add and divide it by 5, we get 27 years as mean age. Then median. Median means middle term of the given set of data. So in this 23 years, 26 years, 26 years, 29 years and 31 years, 26 is the middle value. So that is the median age. Then modal age. Modal age means the most repetitive data in a given set of data. So here in this given data 26 years is repeated twice, so the modal age is 26 years. The second type is measure of dispersion or variation. This provides an information about the range or spread of values described for a variable. It analyzes the speed out of distribution that is set for data. For example, the measure of central tendency can give the average number of given data set. However, it cannot describe how the distribution of data was set done. The central tendency part gives us the average of data, but it does not give the information about how data was distributed. So the measure of dispersion will deal with this part. The key measures of dispersion are, in that first one is range. It is defined as difference between the smallest and largest value of complete data set. Range means it is the difference between highest value and lowest value in the given data set. Next one is variance. It measures the In that, next one is variance. It measures the spread out of the set of numbers of data from their average value. It is calculated by taking average values of the squared difference of each value and their mean. Variance is calculated by using the formula sigma of x minus x bar whole square divided by n. It means the difference between the value and the mean, and it is squared and divided by number of observation. Then standard deviation. It is the measurement of average distance between each quantity and means, which how set the data spreads out from the mean. A standard deviation means that data points are spread at wider range of values, whereas low standard deviation means data points are close to the mean. Standard deviation is calculated by using the formula square root of sigma x minus x bar whole square divided by n. Here the individual values are deducted from mean, and it is squared and divided by number of observation, and if we get the square root of the formula, we get the standard deviation. If we get the standard deviation wider range of values, the data high standard of deviation means the data points are spread at wider range of values, whereas if we get low standard deviation means the data points are close to the mean. In that, next one is skewness, the measure of asymmetry in the distribution of set of data. For example, income skewed as a person, people might earning a high range while other will be higher or lower to the range. The skewness can be positive, negative or undefined. Positive skew means when a distribution is skewed to the right part, that is, a tail of the curve on the right hand side is longer than the left, and the mean value is greater than the mode, then it is called as positive skew. Positive skew is situation when right hand side of the longer than the left and the mean values is also greater than the mode, then it is called as positive skew. A negative skew means when a distribution is skewed to the left part, that is, tail of the curve on the left hand side is longer than the right and mean value is less than the mode, then it is called negative skew. Then when to use descriptive study, where the different in which different situation we use the descriptive study to determine the characteristics of market, such as size of the market, buying power of the consumer, product usage pattern, to find out the market share for the product, means sales for the product, to track the performance of a brand, to determine the association of two variables such as advertising and sales. Here we are going to find out the relationship between advertising and sales, to make prediction about the market, and to estimate the proportion of people in a specific population who behave in a particular way. Here we are going to estimate the proportion of people in the specific population who behave in a same way. Next next one is descriptive research methods. There are two methods in descriptive research. First one is longitudinal studies. Longitudinal study involves panels. Longitudinal study is a type of correlation research study that involves looking at variables over a expected period of time. It is a type of study, correlation research, which involves looking at the variables at the expected period of time. It involves panels. These elements may be individual, stores, dealers, etc. The panel or sample remain constant throughout the period. The types of panels are true panel and omnibus panel. Panel study involves sampling of cross section of individuals. True panel means this involves repeated measurement of same variables. Example, perception towards frozen peas and iced tea. It means the study of perception of consumers towards the frozen peas and iced teas. Omnibus panel, in this sample elements is being selected and maintained, but the information collected from the member varies. In sample studies, information collected remains constant, but here the information in omnibus panel, the information collected from the members may vary. In that second type is cross-sectional studies. Cross-sectional studies are observation studies that analyze the data from population of at a single point of time. Here we are going to analyze the data from population at a single point of time, like study of prevalence of health and health determinants, etc. In that there are two types. One is field study and field survey. Field study, it involves in-depth study of a problem. Here the problem is studied in a depth, such as reaction of young men and women towards the product. Here the reaction of young people towards a product is studied. Then is field survey. Large sample are feature of the study. The biggest limitation of this survey is cost and time. Field survey means it takes lot of time and money and resources also. It requires good knowledge like constructing a questionnaire, sampling techniques used, etc. Field survey requires the knowledge in the research field like preparing the questionnaire, selecting sampling procedure, etc. So it takes more cost and time because the large samples have to be studied by going into the field, by asking the question, conducting the interview, etc. Then advantages of descriptive analysis. Descriptive analysis has the ability to provide accurate description. Here the accurate description, accurate explanation of the data is obtained. Next one is can be bias for decision making, can be basis for decision making. We can take the descriptive analysis as a basis for decision making. The answer obtained from the descriptive analysis may be helpful for decision making in the firm. Easier to build, test and understand than another model. Descriptive analysis is a model which is very simple and it is easy to understand, test and it is also easy to build when compared to other models. More reliable. Reliable means consistently good in quality or performance, able to be trusted, because this model is has the ability to understand easily. So we can it is consistently good in its quality performance, because we can we can trust this model very easily without any confusion. We can trust this model, so it is more reliable. Then disadvantages of descriptive analysis. Casual links are not established from one topic to another. There is no casual link is established. Then can be more expensive and time consuming than exploratory research. This method, descriptive analysis, may have a chance of becoming more expensive and time consuming than exploratory research. This research needs very much of cost and time, so it can become costlier. So it is a disadvantage of descriptive analysis. Thank you.